All right, welcome to Launch Classroom Teacher Training Orientation. My name is Renee Petty. My counterpart this afternoon is Mark Halpin. We're going to do a quick introduction of ourselves and just walk you through the schedule, some logistics of training. We are really excited to be with you next week, actually, in Klein, Texas. We've done a little bit of work with your district on the front end. We did a virtual training already. We're really excited to be able to come and do this one in person. So my name is Renee Petty, as I mentioned. This is my family. I'm coming to you from St. Joseph, Michigan. If you're familiar, I'm in the southwest corner, right up against Lake Michigan. That's my family. I like to throw my dogs in there for when we're doing virtual trainings because they tend to be a little obnoxious. I started my Project Lead the Way journey back in the 2014-2015 school year when my district piloted all the way down to the elementary level. So we had adopted Project Lead the Way at the high school and middle school levels. And so I got to be kind of the trailblazer for my district. And once I saw the impact that it had on my second grade students, I knew that I needed to be more involved. And so the following year, I became a master teacher for Project Lead the Way. And what that means is I would teach during the school year. I had every second grade module I implemented that first year. I was so excited. It was amazing, the impact that it had on my kiddos. And so I would teach during the school year. And then in the summer, I would train teachers, travel around the country and train teachers. And then 2 years ago, I left the classroom and I do this full time now. So Mark and I are full-time Project Lead the Way trainers. We are a resource for you at your disposal as you need. So we realize that our 2 days together are going to be packed full with a lot of really active engagement, a lot of really cool, awesome, fun things to bring back to your classrooms. But we do know that it's a lot that we cover. So we will be sharing our contact information. We encourage you to jot this down, add it to your phone. This next slide has my information. So that is my cell phone number. And it is available to you. If you ever need anything, you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed, please don't. We have a lot of support for you. So you can call me, text me, we'll hop on a Zoom, we'll get you started. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed. Once you see the impact this has in your classroom, you will absolutely love it. And then that's also my email address, rpetty@pltw.org. So feel free to add that contact information and reach out anytime you need us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mark Halpin. I'm from the Dallas area, so just a short drive up I-45, specifically Garland, Texas. And just as Renee, I got started back in 2016 with Project Lead the Way. I was a sixth grade science teacher, and I love teaching science. I love teaching hands-on experiments and that kind of thing. But in 2016, I had the opportunity to do a gateway training, which is our middle school program in automation and robotics and design and modeling. So I did a couple trainings that summer, and I just fell in love with Project Lead the Way. And so I started teaching middle school AR and design and modeling that year. And then I just kept getting more and more of those gateway trainings and teaching more and more of the Project Lead the Way courses. It changed the course of my education career. It changed my classroom. It changed the experience for my students. And we did a lot of great work on our campus. I was also the robotics coach, VEX robotics coach on our campus as well. And so I taught Project Lead the Way courses as electives at the middle school level at Jackson Technology Center in Garland, Texas. And then just this past year, I had the opportunity to come on full-time with Project Lead the Way as a full-time trainer. And I have just loved getting to share Project Lead the Way with teachers all around the country. I'm excited to come down to Klein and meet you all and get you started on your Project Lead the Way journey as well. And just as Renee said, here is my contact info. please do not hesitate to reach out at any time. We are full-time trainers. We're here to support you. This is our job. So please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, concerns, or just need some assistance finding something. There's my email, mhalpin@pltw.org, and then my cell phone number as well. You can add that.
All right, so we want to go over the schedule with you, just so that you know what to expect when you come in next week. We will be training with you on Thursday and Friday, November 2nd and 3rd, and our schedule is 8 to 4. Now, typically, this is a 16-hour training. We typically have 2 8-hour days. We are condensing that down to 2 7-hour days. So it will go very quickly. So if you look in that red box, Thursday, November 2nd from 8 to noon, we will be doing block 1 together. And that's where we go into the student experience. We'll actually be doing a kindergarten module so that you can kind of learn navigation of the site, and you can see the scaffold of learning that happens with each Project Lead the Way module. So block 1 is really a time for you to go in and really have fun and enjoy what the kids would be doing and see that scaffold of learning. Block 2 in the afternoon goes from 1 to 4, and that's where we will take a look behind the curtain and get to bridge between the student side and the teacher side of things. So we'll look at all of the logistics, all of the tools and resources that you have on the teacher side of things. One of my favorite things about teaching Project Lead the Way was that everything that you need is embedded. Each module is 10 instructional hours. And so we'll walk you through a couple different modules as we go through training. And then you'll have an hour for lunch each day between noon and 1 o'clock. And then Friday will be the same schedule, except block 4 in the afternoon, you will complete something called an implementation guide. And what that is, it's kind of like a user's manual for how to do all things Project Lead the Way. You will take kind of a template and customize it specifically for what you will be doing with Project Lead the Way in your classroom. So you're going to look at every detail of implementation and make it work for you in your classroom with your students. So when you walk out of there, you'll have, I call it your way back home. You'll have a document that will guide you back through everything that we do in training. But that's really your time to be able to dive in and really get to know. You'll pick one module. You'll get to dive in and really explore that, kind of become an expert. Down in this kind of bluish green box, the It's Your Turn. It's Your Turn, you will have several assignments. One will be done after each block. So before we go to lunch and then before we end for the day, you'll have 2 on Thursday and again on Friday, 1 probably right before lunch and then 1 before we leave. And that's really an opportunity for you to reflect on what we've done so far. We want to slow the pace for a few minutes and give you time to think about what this would look like for you and what this means to you. And then the expectation of participants, regular attendance. So we do need you there on site. And then active participation and engagement. Mark and I have done a lot of these together and it's really fun. You're going to love it. We bring in lots of different supplies. We'll get you up and moving. So kind of a chunk and chew. We give you a little bit. We let you play with it. And it's the active engagement part's pretty easy to do and lots of fun. So the completion of It's Your Turn down in that bottom white box, that's just those block assignments, and we'll guide you through that as we go through training. All right, so what is PLTW? PLTW stands for Project Lead the Way. It's a science/STEM nonprofit organization. We focus on STEM education that goes from pre-K all the way through 12th grade. And you'll see it is vertically aligned from grade to grade to grade. So like for computer science, students would learn something in preschool and it would scaffold to kindergarten and first grade and all the way up. So a lot of the thinking skills and the executive skills and the transportable skills that they start to build, it doesn't just go throughout each module and within that grade level, it actually vertically aligns as well. Project Lead the Way has three pathways. Launch is our elementary program. So you'll hear launch a lot. That just means there's 42 modules. That just means any of those 42 modules at the elementary level. The middle school program is called Gateway. And then at high school, we have three career pathways, which are computer science, biomedical, and engineering. The benefits of Project Lead the Way is that it helps promote critical and creative thinking, problem solving, communication, and collaboration. And you will see that while we are together. You'll see those opportunities as we work together to solve problems. All right, so what is classroom teacher training? That's what we're coming to do with you. It's an immersive learning experience designed to develop the knowledge, skill, and understandings that you need to engage students in real-world learning experience. It's embedded into all of our launch modules. So we will be, during our cohort experience, we will be doing hands-on learning as we go through the APB. After you complete your prerequisites, you'll be pretty familiar with the APB. That's really the scaffold of learning that happens within all of our modules. So this graphic, when you do your prerequisite training, will look very familiar. Every module at the launch level, at the elementary level, is 10 instructional hours, and they all follow this scaffold of learning. So each module starts with an introduction story where three fictitious characters, Susie, Milo, and Angelina, have some kind of a problem. And that's at the beginning of every module. So you read a little introduction story, and then there's activity 1, activity 2, activity 3. And as you complete these activities, students develop the knowledge and skills necessary to solve the problem at the end. It goes from very well defined all the way through where it's very open-ended. So there's 3 activities, then there's a project. In the project, the kids have an opportunity through hands-on investigation to take all of the knowledge and skills that they've learned and to make meaning and investigate. There's one project, it moves along that scaffold into open-ended learning. And then at the very end of the 10 instructional hours, the students apply and transfer everything they've learned to solve the problem that they learned about at the beginning. And as you go through that APB, there's formative assessments built in, and then a summative assessment at the end. So prerequisites, I mentioned that a couple times already. There are 2 prerequisites that you need to have done ahead of next Thursday. They probably will take, they typically take less than an hour. Basically, you're going to go through and just become familiar with the content. Please try to make sure that you have registered for the course, you got in, you have access to everything, and that you've completed both prerequisites ahead of really, we're saying next Thursday or next Wednesday, so that when we get started, we're going to kind of hit the ground running. So if you can get those done, that would really speed things along. If you need help with that at all, we're going to give you more information. You can reach out to us also, but we also have an 800 number for the Solution Center, and they can help guide you on that as well. Make sure you are able to access PLTW, and when you get into your My PLTW, you have courses, and Mark is actually going to take us into that part.
So when you sign in to my.pltw.org, it's going to take you to your dashboard page. So you'll go to my.pltw.org and sign in with your new username and password that you've created. And when you sign in, this is the page that you will see. And so we call this our dashboard page. On here, you've got several items that you'll see. First, you have courses. When you're actually teaching in the classroom, this is where you're going to spend the bulk of your time. This is where all your course content is. During training, you will spend a little bit more time in this tool here. It's called the Professional Development Portal. We'll take you in here in just a moment. You also have the store where you can purchase supplies and see what supplies are available for the different modules. You have community, which is like a social media site for teachers. And we'll show you that kind of at the end of training. And it's a great resource for you to go and see other items that teachers have created across the country, teachers that have created different materials for Launch. And then you also have a grants page and a help page. So if you go into this tool here, the Professional Development Portal, this is basically when you interact with us in any way, when you sign up for trainings, when you're going through a training, which is what you'll be doing next week, you'll go to this page here. And when you get there, it's going to take you to the catalog, which is a place where you can sign up for future trainings. Catalog page, again, you can sign up for courses, see all the different offerings we have available. But during our training, you'll go into the dashboard page. And when you get into the dashboard page, you'll be able to see our training hub. And it is just for next week. And on my page, I've got a lot of different trainings. So your page will be a lot more simplified than mine is. You will go to the Launch Classroom Teacher Training, and you will click on Resume Track. And when you get here, you'll see these two items. Welcome to PLTW, and it says prerequisite here. And then you also see getting started with PLTW Launch Classroom Teacher Training. Before we start next week, you want both of these rows to say complete. That shows us that you've completed both prerequisites. So I'm going to click on this Welcome to PLTW prerequisite, just so you can see what's there. And when you get here, you will have to open each of these links. So you've got some different reading and videos to check out. I'm just introducing you to what Project Lead the Way is all about. So you'll open the different links. And once you've opened up and checked out all the resources that are available in the prerequisite, you will have access to a quiz. I've already completed my quiz, so it just says view results. But once you've opened all these links, you'll be able to take the quiz. And it's 5 questions, and you do have to get 100% on them. You have to get all 5 right. But you can take this quiz as many times as you need to. And Renee and I don't even see how many times you've taken it. It does not matter. You can take it 20 times. But as long as you get 100 on it, you can go back. And then it will say it will be marked complete once you've made 100. And you'll do both of these sections. And during training next week, and we'll walk you through this as we go as well. When you complete your block assignments, you'll go into this third row here where it says PLTW Launch Classroom Teacher Training. On this page is where you will submit your block assignments. So again, we'll have block 1 done on Thursday morning, block 2 done on Thursday afternoon, block 3 Friday morning, and then block 4 on Friday afternoon. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard page just so we can show you briefly what's in the courses. So I clicked on that top left corner where it said My PLTW, and it's taken us back to the dashboard. I'm going to go into our courses page. And inside courses is where you will see all of our curriculum. You are getting certified in the full Launch program. So if you're a 2nd grade teacher and you're wondering why I'm learning about a kindergarten module, you are getting certified so that you can teach any Launch module. And part of the reason for that is we started off where we're at the beginning of the Launch program. Teachers would get certified in a specific grade level, and then you know how elementary school is, teachers get moved around, and then they would have to go get recertified in another grade. And so one of the solutions to that was you're just getting certified in the full elementary program. So you will have access to every single grade level. So if you click on that Launch English folder, you will see every single launch module. And once you've registered, you'll be able to access this. And so you can go and play around and see what modules are available to you. I can also click on this X to get back to that main page here at the top of my screen. And then another folder that you will have is this navy blue PLTW professional development folder. And in here, you have Launch Classroom teacher training in person and Launch module specific PD resources. During training, we're going to walk you through both of these. But I do want to highlight this module here because this is basically our lesson plan that we're going to go through together on Thursday and Friday. So if you go in here, you can go into block 1. And you'll notice in all of our courses are laid out in the same way. The student guide, the teacher guide, it has this nice, neat outline that takes you through the full APB process, those activities, projects, and problems that Renee was talking about. And that's true for our Launch Classroom teacher training module as well. So if you go into the block 1 overview, you can see what we'll be doing during our training together. So you can go and check out the agendas for blocks 1, 2, 3, and 4. But as Renee said, we are so excited to come down to Klein and meet with you and get you started with Project Lead the Way. We're thrilled to be with you next week. And as we've said, please, if you have any questions, if you're trying to figure out any processes, please let us know. You can text us, you can email us, and we'll respond as soon as we possibly can. And we will see you on Thursday morning.
Thank you.